Another absolutely delicious staple recipe that is a must-have. This is so good. Everyone loves it, even down to my littlest. Absolutely, she says it is delicious and she loves it. Everyone loves it. It's so easy to put together, perfect for any weekday or weekend, weeknight, whatever. It's just perfect. Let's go ahead and get started. It is so easy to put together. It's just a handful of ingredients, handful of steps, and you pop it in the oven. We're going to start off with making our topping for this. Before I get my hands in chicken and everything like that, I want to get started on making this batter. So in a plate there, I've added in some flour, as well as I'm using some of this organic cornmeal. I like to have organic cornmeal on hand because it's non-GMO, of course, and I will see if I can leave that link down below for you. I usually get that on Amazon. To that, I'm going to also add in some grated parm. Now, you can use freshly parm if you want. It is quite expensive to have fresh parm cheese on hand, so this is what I usually typically have on hand. I will have all the amounts listed below in the description box for you. This recipe is also really, really great for a casserole to give to someone, to take to, a get together, and also for a freezer meal. You can double up this recipe and make it as a freezer meal as well. I'm seasoning this with a little bit of salt and pepper. Don't want to go too heavy on the salt because the parm is also salty. I'm adding in a little bit of salt and pepper to my eggs. I have 2 large eggs in a bowl at the back. I'm just preparing my station to get everything good and going. I have some Italian seasoning here. I'm going to add in about a tablespoon of Italian seasoning to my flour and parm, and a teaspoon of Italian seasoning to my eggs. I'm just going to get my hands in there and mix all of those dry ingredients together to make sure that there are no big clumps of Italian seasoning, parm, or anything like that, just to make sure everything is really well incorporated. Also, I'm just going to take a fork and whisk together my eggs till they're nice, also mixed in really well. So I have my chicken breast here. I have one piece that I've already thinly sliced. You can purchase a thinly sliced chicken breast if you want. However, those can be a little bit more costly. So I like to just buy chicken breasts and slice them myself into pretty much like half. Just because this is going to stretch your meat, and also you don't want your meat to be too thick because it will just be dry. And another thing is that it makes a perfect, like, nice golden brown topping of your chicken without being, tough on the inside. So we're going to get our chicken breast. I'm going to cut these things in half. You can also use chicken thighs for this if you want, but I do prefer to use chicken breast for this. And again, I'm thinly slicing it. Or you could also just buy thinly sliced chicken breast. So I have my chicken breast thinly sliced up here, my eggs, my flour, and a plate on the side. So I have my station prepared and ready. So it makes things really easy. I'm just going to go in one direction. So less mess. We're going to take our chicken pieces and toss it in that, well, not toss it, but put it in the egg for about 3 to 4 times or so. Then I'm going to place it in my flour, parm, and cornmeal mixture and just toss it, or just lay it in the flour and cover it with my next hand. I used one hand for my eggs and one hand for my flour so it doesn't get too messy. I want to make sure that that chicken breast is fully covered in the flour. It's just going to be a light coating at this point. You can double dip in your eggs if you want to. And I'm just fast forwarding here, showing you that I'm going to finish up the rest of them, of course, dipping it in the egg several times, tossing it around in the flour, making sure it's fully coated with that flour sauce. Now, because I am using some free-range eggs here, I am not going to waste any. So you can see that my chicken pieces have finished being coated. I still have a little bit of egg left over, and I definitely have some of that flour mixture left over. So I am going to double dip some of these. Just place it back in your egg very lightly, just 1 or 2 times, because you're not trying to get rid of the flour. You just want an extra light layer of egg, and then another layer of your breading. So you can double dip this if you want. I am going to wash my hands up really well. I already have my spaghetti that is boiled and ready to go. It is cooked to al dente. I have some vegetable oil in a pot here that is on about medium heat or so, and I have my chicken breast. Now I have left my flour mixture to the side because in case any of these chicken breasts are sitting there too long and they start to absorb the flour and it gets a little moist, I might just toss it one more time back into the flour. So I'm going to keep my flour on hand just in case. These are just going to cook about maybe 3 minutes on each side till it gets this beautiful, beautiful golden brown color. You do not have to worry about your chicken being fully cooked through at this point. You just want it to have a beautiful, nice color on it. So we're not worrying about it being fully cooked through, so just about 2 to 3 minutes on each side. Or if it's fully submerged in the oil, just about 3 to 4 minutes. My oven is also preheated to 350 degrees, and here is my spaghetti that I've cooked to al dente. I have placed this in a casserole dish and just layered it off until it's nice and even. At this point, I was waiting for my husband to come and open up that marinara sauce for me because I don't know what they close these bottles. My goodness, I tell you. So I have a bottle of organic marinara sauce here. I'm going to put about maybe half of this sauce into my spaghetti here and mix it up. I am using store-bought marinara sauce. It's organic. I like to have it on hand. There's no extra preservatives or added ingredients to it. And it's delicious. It's really easy. It makes my life a lot easier to just have that on hand. So I am going to toss this. I'm going to add a little bit more marinara sauce because you do want that spaghetti to be nice and have some liquid in it. You don't want dry spaghetti. So we're going to add a little bit more of that sauce. I'm also going to add 2 to 3 tablespoons of ketchup. It's going to add a little bit of sweetness to this and as well a little bit more extra flavor and sauciness, which is also good. So put this into an even layer, and then I'm just going to take those chicken breast pieces that were fried up and place them over the top of my spaghetti. Just try to level it off as best as you can. Make it kind of like a puzzle to make sure that it all fits, covering up as best as you can, so that every time you cut into this, each piece will have a nice piece of chicken. We're going to take the next half of our sauce in our marinara bottle here, our marinara sauce in our bottle. I'm going to put the next half over our chicken, just drizzling it ever so over our chicken. Finishing up that bottle. Again, my oven is preheated to 350 degrees. I'm going to take some of my grated Parm cheese and sprinkle that on top as well. A nice little sprinkle, as well as I have some mozzarella cheese that I am going to grate over this. I love to add the mozzarella cheese with the Parm. It just adds such great flavor. So after I have grated the cheese all over my chicken pieces, I am going to cover this up with foil. We don't want our chicken to dry out in the oven while it's baking, so I'm going to cover this up with foil. Again, my oven is at 350 degrees, and I'm going to pop this in the oven for about 20 to 30 minutes or so, 20 to 25 minutes, until that chicken is fully cooked through and that cheese is ooey gooey, melted all over your chicken. And oh my goodness, it is so good. You still get the crunch from the chicken. You get all those amazing flavors. It is such an easy meal to put together. When I made this, my little one asked for more. She said to make sure and put more on her plate because not only does she love food, she loves this food. So it is delicious. I make this quite often, and it's something really easy to make, and it's something really great to make for leftovers as well. So I could just cover up the casserole dish and place it in the fridge for leftovers. I hope that you try it because it is that good. And if you try it and enjoy it, let us know. I'll see you next time.